Like, there are times I can literally hear it moving around in the walls. So yeah, I'm definitely having the best time. I'm gonna sleep super well tonight. It's gonna be amazing. Good morning, it is NaNoWrimo day 8 and also the beginning of my second NaNoWrimo vlog, which I promise will be shorter than the first one. I was gonna just say the word count goal for today is 13,336 words, but I kind of don't want to talk about that. If you have not seen my vlog for NaNoWrimo week 1, that is linked up in the cards, but essentially last night I kind of came to the decision that I would at least attempt to try and get an average of 2,300 words per day for the rest of NaNoWrimo, or at least for like the next few days. We're trying it out. I'm not sure about this. And the goal in doing this is to hopefully complete a draft that's about 70,000 words by the end of NaNoWrimo. Not sure it's possible, but I'm giving it a try. So my NaNoWrimo total right now is a little bit under 14,000 words. It's like 1385, which means that my personal goal for today is to get to a bit over 21,000 words. Hi, future editing Kristen, coming at you to say something that you probably already caught, and that is that 21,000 is absolutely the incorrect number. I have no idea where I came up with that. I don't know how I said that with a straight face without catching it. I don't know. The correct number for what my NaNoWrimo total should have been at by the end of the day is a little bit over 16,000. So that's the number that I meant to say in the moment. Again, I have no idea. My brain wasn't functioning. And now you get to enjoy several seconds of past me being incredulous at the fact that I needed to hit 21,000 that day. I wonder why. It sounds like a lot saying that, and it is a lot, but I'm gonna give it a go. I'm gonna try it. We're gonna see. I started chapter 10 yesterday, and that is the first chapter of Act 2. Given that I want to write 2,300 words today, that means I'm gonna probably finish chapter 10 and start chapter 11, but probably not finish it. Not totally sure. We'll see. I think that I am gonna go and write at the coffee shop I've been going to, so hopefully that will help me get some words in and focus. So let's go do that. Good morning, it is NaNoWrimo day 9. The word count goal for today for NaNoWrimo as a whole is 15,000 words, and my new word count goal for the day is 18,500. First of all, I finally dyed my hair yesterday. My roots were gross and I went a little bit darker than usual. Really love it. Now the negative, I only ended up getting about 1,800 words yesterday, which isn't bad. It's above 1667, but it is not the 2,300 that I was hoping to get every day going forward. So that's kind of a bummer. So I ended the day with about 15,600 words, somewhere around there. However, back on the positives, I have already done a writing sprint this morning. I tried to do 1K in 30. I actually ended up going about 35 and getting about 1,200 words. So I've already gotten a lot of words done today. I've caught up to where I wanted to be at the end of the day yesterday, and now I have about 1,700 words left to hit today's goal. So I'm currently sitting at just under 17,000 words, and my goal for the end of the day is to be to 18,500. So that seems pretty doable for me. I don't think it's going to be too bad. I basically just have to write the daily nano goal for the rest of the day, and that's not too difficult. Today is that like annual NaNoWrimo double the daily goal day, and I'm kind of already doing that in a sense, but I might try to go even harder today and write even more. I don't know, I'm not sure, but we'll see. I feel pretty good about what I've written so far. That said though, I kind of already made things a little bit more difficult than they needed to be today, because I decided to go back and read some words that I wrote like at the beginning of NaNoWrimo. If you saw my first Nano vlog, I talked about how most of my story is told in first person by my main character, but there are some sections that are from another character's point of view. And I talked about how I've been considering making it a dual narration. And going back and rereading that just made that desire even stronger. I truly think that the best words that I've written in this entire draft are some of the sections from this character's point of view. Like these little sections that are from his POV are probably my favorite things in this entire draft. I feel like I write really well from his point of view. I feel like the words just flow really well. And I think that it would be a better story if I wrote it in dual narration. And that's again coming up as a little bit of a struggle for me. Because if I decided to go full out and just go full dual narration, I would have to re-outline some stuff, and I don't really want to do that right now. But the fact that this concern is coming up again a week later just makes it more solid in my mind that this is the direction I need to go in, and so it is making me question more whether I should continue drafting when I think that I need to re-outline. However, like I did last week, I'm putting these thoughts on the back burner, at least for now, and I'm continuing forward. I think a lot of my concern about making it fully dual narration is that there are certain sections of the story that I think are so set in my current single main character's view that I'm not sure that re-outlining and changing the structure of the story would be worth the dual narration, if that makes sense. It's something that's going to take quite a bit of thinking and analyzing and stuff. And again, not something I think I want to do right now. But if this concern keeps coming up, I'm definitely going to have to think about it once I finish this draft. One thing that I have started doing to kind of keep track of some of these concerns is that I've started taking notes on each chapter. I'm writing in Scrivener, so I have one little file document for each chapter, and then those are divided into acts, and at the beginning of every act I have a document with all of my chapter descriptions. I do that basically just to keep my descriptions separate from the chapter itself to not confuse word count and stuff like that. But in that document I started taking notes at the end of chapter descriptions, being like, okay, this is what didn't work in this chapter, this is what I need to fix for sure, that I'm already noticing is a problem. For example, last night I finished chapter 10 and I started chapter 11 this morning, and at the end of chapter 10 is a scene where these two characters need to have their first real, bonding moment. They don't know each other super well, and they're kind of becoming friends, and this needs to be the first instance in which they kind of click. And as I was writing it, I just knew that friendship chemistry wasn't quite there. I wasn't quite writing it the way I wanted to. So in editing, I'm gonna have to fix that. But rather than stressing over it, I made a note, and that's what I need to fix. So going forward the rest of the day, I am definitely going to finish chapter 11 today and start chapter 12. I don't know how far I'll get into chapter 12. Chapter 12 is one of my favorites, so I might just write the whole thing today. We'll see. We'll call finishing chapter 12 my stretch goal for the day. I don't think it's gonna happen. It might, we'll see. But my overall goal is to get to 18,500 for NaNoWrimo so that I'm back on track. And I know I've been really bad about updating at night lately, but I am gonna try to update later with stuff about my playlist, the music I've been listening to, stuff like that. So I will see you later, hopefully. I'm going to say this as calmly as I possibly can, given the situation, but a bird got in our vents somehow. It's 1 a.m. right now, so it's far too late to call anyone about it, but guess what my biggest fear is? It's birds and having the best time ever. Thankfully right now I can't hear it, but earlier today it was up there in that vent making noise. And it was a nightmare. Last time I checked, it was somewhere near the vent in my bathroom, which was great because it just sounds like it's coming from everywhere all at once because of the echo in the bathroom. So yeah, I'm definitely having the best time. I'm gonna sleep super well tonight. It's gonna be amazing. Anyway, on topic. Like I said, it's 1 a.m. It's well past midnight, but I did finish my words for the day kind of right as midnight hit. I wrote about 2,300 words, maybe a little bit more. I got it done. I think my NaNoWrimo total right now is sitting at about 18,600, which is 100 more than I meant for it to be at, so I did well. As far as what I was writing, I actually ended up putting all of my words in chapter 11, and I didn't move on to chapter 12 yet. So that's what I'm going to do tomorrow. And like I mentioned, chapter 12 is one of my favorites, but it's also probably one of the longer ones. So I think it'll take longer than just tomorrow's 2,300 words to get to the end of it, but we'll see. But like I promised, my main topic of conversation for this update, apart from the bird in the walls, is my music, the playlist that I've been listening to. Because honestly, I kind of expected to go back and forth between those two playlists that I created, but I've actually been a lot more album loyal than I expected. By far, my most played album while writing so far has been The Walking in Between by Ben Rector. It's one of those really laid back, like coffee shop vibes albums for me, and I've been listening to it a lot while writing. Like I said in the last vlog, my 2 playlists are like chill coffee shop vibes, which are what kind of gets me in the mood to write, and then the second one is like what my main character would listen to, which sometimes gets me in the mood to write, and the coffee shop vibes have definitely been winning out so far. That said though, I spent a very long time tonight trying to pick an ASMR video to listen to, so I listened to ASMR tonight while writing. So I'm gonna try to get some sleep now, if I can. Hopefully the bird doesn't migrate through the vent back to my room, because I don't think I can handle that tonight. So hopefully it just stays near my bathroom and I can just pretend it's not there. And I will check back in sometime tomorrow, hopefully after we've gotten rid of the bird. Good evening. It is day 10 of NaNoWrimo, and the word count goal for today for NaNoWrimo is about 16,600-ish. And my NaNoWrimo goal for today is 20,800 words. And I haven't written today, but I do have plans and I also have updates, so let's chat about that. First of all, the thing that's in the vents, probably a mouse, probably multiple mice. Fortunately, I haven't heard them since last night, so maybe they got out. Maybe they're never coming back again, but we did set some traps, which is about as much as we can do right now, so hopefully we catch them, because I don't want to be woken up by mice. Honestly, I don't like mice, not excited about it, but at least it's not a bird, because I can't deal with that. In terms of writing, I had a bit of a realization today that makes me want to change up some of the stuff I'm doing. So I was watching a Halloween-y video today, and then I realized I don't have a Halloween scene or chapter in this book, and the book takes place in the fall. And it's not like I forgot the holiday existed and just didn't include it because it's my favorite holiday and I would never. But the scene that was originally like Halloween adjacent is more just related to Halloween and doesn't include anything spooky, scary, or skeleton-y. And that's also partially because my main character's birthday takes place around the same time as Halloween, so they're kind of celebrating both at once. And as someone who loves Halloween the most, it's my favorite holiday, I was like, I can't just leave it out. That's offensive, honestly. But once again, I think I've found a way to celebrate Halloween in the story while still mostly maintaining everything that I had going on. Like, honestly, forget the pacing and the story structure I set up. My main characters need to go to a haunted house. It has to happen. But in all seriousness, I think I do have a way to incorporate Halloween into the plot that I already have laid out. The only issue is just going to be making sure that timeline-wise it falls in the correct spot. Like, the majority of my novel takes place from October to the end of the year, and I just need to make sure that it's not creating like some awkward timeline gap or anything, because there are a lot of events in the story that happen around late October, early November, and I just need to make sure that I'm correctly placing it in that area, or else it could mess up the dates of the year. So that's the update. Like I said, I haven't written anything yet today, but I'm about to, and I still have 2,300 words to write. I mean, technically I don't have to write that because I am ahead, but not for my personal goal, which is what's important. Also, I got all of yesterday's words doing word sprints where I was kind of pushing myself to get words out really quickly. So tonight I want to take it a little bit slower, a little bit more chilled out. I don't want to like push myself to try to get like 1,000 in 30 minutes, which is doable, but my words probably aren't going to be as good. So I'm going to try to take it a little bit easier tonight, try to make my words just slightly better. Hopefully, maybe, I don't know, we'll see. And write chapter 12, I guess. I think it would be cool if I could finish chapter 12 by the end of the night, but I think that it's going to be a pretty long chapter, so I'm not sure that's going to happen, but we will see.
And today we have a big request. It's yoga for writers.
Good afternoon. It is NaNoWrimo day 11. The NaNoWrimo word count goal for the day is 18,337 words, and my personal word count goal for the day is just over 23,000 words. So, yesterday didn't exactly go as planned. I don't remember when exactly my last update was last night, but I ended up squeaking in right at the end of the day, right at midnight, with about 1,670 words, so I just barely got the daily NaNoWrimo goal. So I ended the day with about 20,300 words, which was not exactly where I wanted to be, and meant that today, to get up to my personal daily goal, I need to write 2,800 words. But fortunately for me, I already wrote 2,500 of those. So backtracking a little bit, I believe that yesterday all 1,600 of my words were in chapter 12, which is, again, one of my favorite chapters in the entire book. And then today I picked up right where I left off. I literally wrote for 2 hours straight and got those 2,500 words, and all of them are in chapter 12, making chapter 12 right now about 4,200 words long. I told you chapter 12 was gonna be a hefty one. So it's a very long chapter, but I already know some places where I can just cut stuff out and edit it. There were sections where I kind of rambled because I was trying to figure out how to transition between scenes, and I was also trying to get like the daily word count goal. So I'm not too worried about getting that chapter a little bit shorter. So now I've already gotten my daily 2,300 word goal that I set for myself. But if I want to catch up to where I should be, I have 300 more words to write, which honestly shouldn't be that difficult because I feel really good after writing chapter 12, so I kind of want to keep that momentum up. So I don't know, I might end up just writing 300 more words to finish out the day and be on track, or if I feel like it, I might write more. Not totally sure. I do have other stuff that I need to get done today, so even though I have this great momentum going, I also need to do that stuff, so we'll see. So that's it for this update. I'm going to be jumping into chapter 13 later today, even if it is only with about 300 words. I might update again later tonight, not totally sure, really depends. Knowing me, I probably won't because I keep forgetting to, but again, we'll see. So I will check back in with you later, whether that's later today or tomorrow, probably. Good afternoon. It is day 12 of NaNoWrimo, and from now on, I'm just going to say my new total word count goal for the day because I think I'm sticking with 2,300 words a day, and that goal for today is 25,400 words. So in my update yesterday, I talked about how I wrote like 2,500 words yesterday morning, and I ended up finishing out the day with another like 200 something words, so I didn't get all the way to where I wanted to be at the end of the day yesterday, but I was only like 50 words short. So overall, yesterday was a very successful day. I got over 2,700 words written, so that was fantastic. And there are several phrases that I could spout off here, but for every action there is an equal and similar reaction is the one that's coming to mind, aka I've barely written anything today and it's already like 3 p.m. I just sat down and wrote 400 words and the words came so slowly. Like I feel very like uninspired, very unmotivated today, which is a bummer because yesterday I was like so excited about writing. So with everything I got yesterday and the words that I just wrote, I'm sitting at about 23,500 words right now. For some unknown reason, earlier today I just felt like going back and rereading some of my day 6 fanfic, like some of the older sections. And like, I don't think that it actually hurt anything. I think I was already kind of feeling pretty uninspired before that. I think if anything, it actually helped me a little bit because those sections that I read were written so poorly that when I went back today and read what I wrote yesterday to kind of get back into the writing mood, I was like, oh hey, this is actually pretty decent. This isn't bad at all. So if anything, looking over that made me feel like, hey, I'm actually growing and improving as a writer, which made me feel really good. But nonetheless, I still feel like so especially uninspired today, and that sucks. Nonetheless, I'm gonna keep trudging forward. Because I wrote that 400 words, I now have like 1,900 left to get in today, which is a lot, and I'm honestly not totally sure I can do that, but I'm still gonna try. I'm not gonna just give up for the day. I'm gonna see what I can do. Hopefully I get there, and if I don't, then maybe tomorrow I'll be really inspired to write. I don't know. Today is just kind of a blah day. Okay, let's talk about yesterday. It is day 13 of NaNoWrimo. My word count goal for the day is 27,700 words, and I only wrote 1,200 words yesterday, which leaves me at about 24,300 words, which means that I need to write 3,400 words today to catch up. I said this in my update yesterday, but yesterday was just not my day. I had such a great writing day Monday, and just overall, it was such a productive day. And then yesterday, I just flatlined. And that wasn't just in my writing, that was in everything. I was so down and unmotivated yesterday. And this perfect storm was completed yesterday in the fact that I had so much work to get done yesterday. Not only was I super unmotivated to write and very uninspired by what I was writing, but also I had so much other work I needed to get done and ended up staying up almost all night doing that work. It just all combined together for me to get like no writing done because I didn't have the time or the motivation. Fortunately, since I got all that work done last night, I have pretty much all the time in the world today, so that's nice. The question is just, do I have the motivation to write 3,400 words? And I'm not sure. I think it'll just really depend on how easily the words flow once I start to write. Hopefully that's better than yesterday, because yesterday was not great. I'm making it sound worse than it is. I did write 1,200 words yesterday. It's not like I didn't write anything at all, but I just didn't feel super great about the chapter I was writing. And once again, it's one of those chapters that I am starting to question if it even needs to be in there. Basically, this chapter, chapter 13, deals with my main character and the relationships that she has with some of the other characters and some of the tensions that are building in some of those relationships. It's obviously essential to the plot, but it's another one of those chapters, kind of like the chapter where I put in the more small town vibe, where it has to happen, but I'm not sure that the way I have it currently happening in the story is the best thing for it, or like the most interesting way it can happen. And I think that's kind of why some of these frustrations are coming up, because it needs to happen and I know it needs to happen, but I'm not sure I've really figured out the best way for it to happen yet. And I'm sure that's something that I'll figure out as I continue on. This is also another one of those chapters that's gonna end up being shorter, so I might need to condense some stuff, combine some stuff. I'm not sure. I'm not sure my goal today is to get all 3,400 of those words, just so I don't like have another yesterday happen and burn myself out. But I do think that I am gonna try to get some of it made up and then make up some of it tomorrow. So I think my overall goal today is to finish chapter 13 and probably also write chapter 14, because I think that one's gonna be a little bit on the short side too. And depending on how I feel about what I've written after that, we'll see what I do next. I'm not sure. It is now day 14 of NaNoWrimo, and my word count goal for the day for my goal is 30,000 words. To update you on yesterday, I only got the NaNoWrimo daily word count yesterday. So like 1670, something like that. I didn't get a ton written yesterday, and I certainly didn't get 2,300 or however much I needed to catch up to where I needed to be. So I ended yesterday with like 26,000 words, and my goal for yesterday was 27,700. So I was like 1,700 words behind, which means that today, if I want to completely catch up to that 30,000 goal, I have to write 4,000 words. Needless to say, I don't think that's going to happen. I think I'm going to need to stretch that catch up over several days, but I have already written 1,800 words today. So I'm currently sitting at 27,800, so I only need to write about 2,200 more words to catch up. Do I think that I'm going to write an entire 2,200 more words today? Probably not, but I think that I can at least try and get a lot closer to being caught up. I ended yesterday 1,700 words behind where I should have been. So if I can write like an extra 800 words today and an extra 900 words tomorrow, I can catch up over 2 days. So my goal today, I think, is to write 3,100 words overall so that I get somewhat caught up on the words that I'm behind on. That said though, if that happens, that will also probably be somewhere close to the most words I've written in a single day in NaNoWrimo so far this year, so not sure that's really feasible, but I'm gonna try. So let's talk about what I've been writing, because this section has gotten really frustrating. So I'm currently in Act 2. Right now I'm kind of in the middle between the beginning of Act 2 and the midpoint. So the last few days, I've been writing chapters 13, 14, and 15. The 1,800 words that I got about an hour ago are pretty much the entirety of chapter 15, I think. However, these past couple of days, I started writing chapter 13, and then as I continued on through chapter 13, I realized that the second half of chapter 13 really needed to be chapter 14, or I guess to be more accurate about it, originally they were like two very separate days in the story, like very separate events. And what ended up happening is chapter 13 ended up kind of transitioning very naturally into chapter 14. So I actually ended up writing the second half of chapter 13 and realizing, oh hey, this is actually kind of the beginning of chapter 14. So I switched that up, and now they're both kind of short, and clearly also chapter 15 is short because it's like 1,800 words. So we might have some more condensed chapters here, folks. Which is also making me kind of question if 2,300 words is actually more than I need per day, because I'm continuing to kind of underwrite chapters, and if I write 2,300 words a day for the rest of the month, I'm probably gonna be done a bit early. So I don't know, we'll see. I might move that goal down just a little bit, but probably not a lot. If anything, the lowest it'll go is like 2,000 a day. But again, not sure. And to be clear, that goal change is not because I'm behind, because honestly, I'm kind of glad I'm behind is not correct, because I'm not glad I'm behind, but I'm glad that I increased my goal, because it actually makes it like an actual challenge. It is challenging to get that number of words per day for me, because as I've been writing so far in NaNoWrimo, I haven't found it super challenging to get those 1667 words per day. And bumping that up a little bit is actually making it kind of challenging. So it's not more fun, but it's just more of a challenge. That said though, I am seriously considering bumping it down to 2,000 words per day. I think that it's just going to depend on how the next few chapters pan out. There have only been a few that have been a full 3,000 words. And I think that I calculated the number I needed per day based on 3,000 words. I can't remember. Long story short, too late. We'll see. It's always we'll see with me. No matter how many times I write something in stone and say, this is what I'm doing, I could change my mind in like 5 minutes. I think that I'm going to need to seriously reassess this once I get to the midpoint. I think that's when I'm going to come to a decision on whether to keep going with 2,300 words a day or to just stick with 2,000. I'm not sure. And then if I do end up switching to 2,000 per day, do I just make it simple and just say 2,000 from here on out? Or do I go back to like the past week and kind of recalculate the goal based on a 2,000 word goal instead of a 2,300 word goal? I don't know. Knowing me, I'm probably going to make it too complicated for myself. Okay, I'm going to shut up now because I've been talking way too long, and this is the last day of the vlog, so we're going to need to wrap things up soon, and I will be back later today with a wrap up. Alright, it is now the end of NaNoWrimo day 14, the end of NaNoWrimo week 2, and also the end of this vlog. So let's wrap everything up. I did end up finishing another 1,300 words today, so I ended up getting a total of a little bit over 3,100, which is right on track for what I wanted to do today. I'm very happy with that amount, and I'm pretty happy with how far I got into the next chapter. So right now at the end of week 2, I am sitting at a NaNoWrimo total of just over 29,000 words. Right now I'm kind of in the middle of chapter 16, which I think is going to be one of the longer ones. And chapter 18 is the midpoint, so I'm making good progress. I'm getting there. Overall, I feel like week 2 was really productive and really successful for me. I just looked at my stats and it looks like I wrote about 5,000 more words this week than I did last week. That said, I did have one day in each week where I didn't hit even the daily NaNoWrimo goal, which isn't surprising to me. Like I said in my first vlog, I'm one of those people that's gonna hit a ton of words one day and then none the next day. So as long as it evens out to what I'm hoping to get to, that's fine with me. I also feel a bit better overall with the actual words that I've written. There are definitely some sections where I feel like it's a disaster, like the stuff that I wrote over the past couple of days, but a lot of the stuff that I wrote like at the beginning of the week, I feel very confident in and I feel really good about. So in terms of going forward and what's next, first of all, I am still considering whether or not to change my daily goal to 2,000 words instead of 2,300. Once again, I think that it really depends on how the next few chapters pan out. And I think that once I hit the midpoint, I'll have a better idea of what I want to do with that. I think there's also something to be said though about the fact that Thanksgiving is in a couple weeks and I probably will not be as productive those days. So I might need to keep that higher goal right now because I'm not going to get there in the later weeks. Yeah, I just looked and Thanksgiving is literally like right at the end of the month, like exactly where I don't need it to be. Doesn't Thanksgiving know that this month is NaNoWrimo? But in all seriousness, I'm not sure which way I'm gonna go. We'll see. In terms of the vlog, this time I'm really gonna try to do fewer days. I meant to this week and it just didn't pan out being able to separate it in a good spot. So we have another full week after this. I'm gonna try to do like 3 or 4 days. There are a lot of things I really want to talk about here, but I think that at the end of NaNoWrimo, I'm gonna make a video discussing like things that this NaNoWrimo taught me. Because first of all, we're only halfway through the month. It's too early to do something like that. But also, I feel like every time I do NaNoWrimo, it teaches me something about my writing and about myself in general. And I feel like this year's NaNoWrimo has already been like so helpful for me just in general. Like one thing that I haven't shown in here except for like in passing one time is that I've done yoga almost every single day this month. Like I'm such a lazy inactive person most of the time, but NaNoWrimo has kind of helped me build up some little semblance of not necessarily a daily routine, but like a list of things that I do every day, regardless of the order. And it just has brought the tiniest bit of structure to my life that I don't normally have because I don't like a ton of structure. But perhaps based on these last couple weeks, a little bit of structure isn't bad. There's a lot of other stuff that I'm gonna address in that video, but I definitely wanna make that because there's a lot of stuff I wanna talk about. And finally, the last thing, the more I think about it, the more convinced I get that this story wants to be a dual narration. I know this is the 3rd time that I've brought this up in my NaNoWrimo vlogs, and I just feel it more and more strongly every time I think about it. Once again, I don't think I'm going to take a break from drafting to re-outline, but I do think it's definitely something I need to keep in the back of my mind as I continue on. Like maybe if I get stuck at a certain point and I'm not exactly sure what I want to do, maybe I write a scene from that character's point of view, or maybe I insert a couple of scenes from that character's point of view. I don't know, but it's definitely something that I think I need to think about. But it's definitely something that I need to take more seriously because it keeps coming up over and over again and I'm pretty convinced at this point. And I also think that if I do dual narration, it might help a little bit with figuring out Act 3. So I'll think on it as I'm drafting. So those are kind of my thoughts at the end of week 2 of NaNoWrimo. A lot of positive, a little bit of negative, and a lot of contemplation that I need to do. So that is where I'm going to end my week 2 vlog. I hope you enjoyed. I am gonna try and make sure that the next vlog is shorter and hopefully more interesting because I feel like this one was a lot of me just like sitting and talking in the morning rather than multiple updates per day. So hopefully I get better at doing that over the next several days. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that if you were also doing NaNoWrimo, it is going well for you. Let me know down in the comments. Links to all my social media are down in the description, including NaNoWrimo, Goodreads. Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.